What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Chat with Paul for episode 3. We're super excited that you're here to join us for this week's episode. Before we get started, I did a cool intro video that I want y'all to check out. Let me know what you think. All right, so I hope y'all like that intro video. I've been working on that really hard to do some editing and just make the content better for you guys as y'all watch. For all of the returning people, for everybody who's watched the video before, thank you for joining me again, and we appreciate the support that you guys have been giving this channel. It's amazing. And for all of the newcomers, thank you, and we love you for tuning in. We really appreciate you. Like and share and comment. You should see a little box pop up here that tells you to subscribe, like, or comment. And man, it's awesome. The response has been awesome that I've gotten from the channel. We appreciate everybody who likes, shares, and supports. Thank you so much. So when I begin to think about the last 3 years, really 4 years, a lot of that is when I began to dig deep into my recovery journey. There's a lot of different aspects of my recovery. My work is one. Outside groups, I have a lot of accountability partners, some sponsors or mentors. But anyway, we'll dive into all that. But I can remember back in 2019 was the start of my recovery journey. I can remember during that year I was dating someone. We were living together, and so my addiction was just brought to the forefront of this person's life. They didn't really know how bad off I was until we started living together. And that's when they really began to see, like, wow, you was a trip, right? So I can remember, man, it was rough. The young lady really wanted to help me. Great woman. And sometimes we meet those people in our lives, they can be great people, but it just not be the right time. I didn't have any business being in a relationship at that point. And she tried her best to help me, to find help for me, to find recovery programs for me. But I didn't want the help. I was content where I was. I didn't have a job. She was supporting us, paying all the bills and all that. So it was a real low point in my life, I would say, right? So I'll fast forward to about August of 2019. We broke up. She had had enough. And I don't blame her at all. I think that she should have broke up with me way before. But she, like I said, she was trying to help me. She, constantly encouraged me to do better, to find a job, to stop playing, stop doing drugs, and stop pawning our stuff and X, Y, and Z, right? So I just would never change. So she put up with it for about 6 months, right, before we broke up. And that really, it hurt me. It devastated me. So I was emotionally damaged at that point. I was using drugs to numb the pain. So I can remember having a conversation with my younger sister and her telling me, like, man, how long have you been doing this? Like, you've been going through this same cycle for like the last 10 years of your life. And I never really thought about it like that. I never really thought about me having a problem. It's just who I was. I had a little job most of the time. I did my drugs, went out and party, that's it. That's just my life, right? So I never really considered the fact that I had a substance abuse issue. Never. If I was hurting, if I felt some type of way about something, I really wouldn't put too much thought into it. I'll just go use, right? I'll go drink, I'll go party, whatever. So 2019, August 2019, Me and my sister are looking for a program because at this point I'm about to be homeless. So we're looking for a program for me to get into. I find a program called Project Hope Recovery Center, and I find another program through the Star of Hope. Star of Hope is a 6-month program, or at least it was at the time. Project Hope was a year-long program. I was on probation at the time. I had about 6 months left on my probation, so I was like, perfect. I can go right into Star of Hope, 6-month program. I'm on probation for 6 months. I can get off probation, and at the same time, I'll be ending this program. I can move on to do something else. Perfect, right? So that's the program I wanted to go to. Well, we went down to check it out. I can remember telling me like, okay, we have a bed available, but we can't hold it for you. If you're gonna come in now. I still have some stuff to finish up wrapping up, right, and get right. So I said, okay, well, let me go take care of this business. I'll come back. By the time I was ready to come back, they didn't have no bed. I was like, God, dog. So now I'm calling Project Hope, right? Call Project Hope. There is something specific about this time because I think that the Lord knew exactly what He was doing in my life. He knew that I was going to Project Hope, right? So I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to spend a year in a program, but He knew that's what I needed. So check this out. I call Project Hope. The guy tells me we got a bed available, come in. So I say, okay, cool. I got some stuff to wrap up. Then I'll come in later that evening. I never went in. He calls me the next day and he's asking me like, where were you? You know what I'm saying? Now the people from Star of Hope didn't do this. This guy calls me the next day. He's like, hey man, we've been waiting on you. Like, man, we the Lord's got good things planned for you, man. Come on in, man, and get right. And I was like, all right, yeah, I told him I was going to come in, never intended to go in. So 2 or 3 days go by and he called me every day. So that right there, made me think, man, this dude really cares. Whoever he is really cares about me enough to call me and check on me. He don't even know me. So that broke it for me. I was like, okay, let me go and just see what it's about. If I don't like it, I can leave, right? It's a voluntary program. So I got in. Long story short, I finished the year. I graduated the program. When you graduate this program, they offer you a chance to become an intern, which is to learn how to do the job, that you're going to be placed into. And then if you do well at that, you can become a staff member. So I stayed on staff with them. Now I'm on staff with them. Now I've been on staff with them for the last 2 years. Before I got here though, right, I graduated the program in August of 2020 and then relapsed 5 months later. I got upset with somebody, didn't talk to anybody about why I was upset, like forgot everything I learned in the program, right, and relapsed. So I stayed gone for about a week. And, at the time I was like, man, I'm not going back. Like, I'm not going back to another program for a year. I'm done. I'll figure it out. I had a conversation with my mom and I can remember her telling me, this is the first time that I seen you doing what you're supposed to do. You're happy. You love what you do. And I was like, man, but I can't go back through what I went through the first time, and so we talked about it and I realized that I needed to go back because there were some things that I still needed to address. Whatever happened in the first year, I didn't pick up some things. And so I needed to go back and figure out why I relapsed. And so I came back. At that point, they moved me to Florida. I did our program in Florida for about 4 or 5 months and finished that and, started becoming an intern again and going through that process. And then I got offered a staff position. And like I said, I've been on staff here the last 2 years. The thing that I think that is most important about this part of my journey has been my move. When I moved to Florida, where I am now, things just started to open up. Like I have a group of people down here that I do life with that I connect with so well, and the program in Houston was great, but I just didn't have that, or I didn't felt like I had it anyway. At the time, I didn't feel that connected with my group of people down there. And so I think that I was supposed to move here, just not in the way that it happened. I wasn't supposed to relapse. I chose that. But I was always supposed to be here. And man, the group of people that I have now are just amazing. The leadership I have is amazing. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's easy to do this job or to be in this role. Working for a ministry can be very taxing. And if you're not connected to the source, you're drained. And I've been through that before, because there are seasons, some seasons we do very well in reading our Bible, in prayer, in fellowship. And then other seasons we kind of lack in those areas. And when I'm lacking in those areas, I can tell, because I'm getting frustrated. Like, I'm not being loving, I'm not being kind, I'm not exhibiting those fruits of the Spirit, right? So I can begin to tell. And then not only can I tell, the people around me can tell, because I got some brothers in my life right now who will call me out if I'm slipping, which is a great thing. If you don't have people in your life to tell you, hey, you slipping, you're doing something wrong. You need to get you some people in your life that will tell you the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts, but out of love, I wouldn't want to have it any other way, right? The truth out of love is something that will change your life, and it's changed mine. Now, like I said, I've been here, this is going on 3 years now, in Florida. And, I'm working with Project Hope, and, I go to some meetings at CR, recovery meetings. If you don't know what CR is, it's called Celebrate Recovery. The best way I can describe it is it's a believers AA. One of the best things about CR is that the 12 steps are based on biblical principles. And so you can trace every step back to Scripture. And I think that's so important. And that is really the foundation of my recovery, is the Scripture. I think that we can do recovery in so many different ways. I've heard about people, who choose to do Suboxone or methadone and to be sober. Hey, I'm not here to judge anybody. I think if that's what you choose, then fine. But I think there is a better way. I think that recovery based in the love of Jesus is something that changes lives. I think that it changes your mind about what you're doing. So that's just me. I would love for you guys to connect with me about my testimony. Ask any questions you have down in the comments. Share this for somebody out there who's struggling with addiction. Stay tuned for the next video. I believe we're going to be interviewing someone, a very good friend of mine. And so I'm super excited for that. I can't wait for you guys to check that out. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.